Happy Friday, everyone. I wanted to come and talk to you a little bit about board games today, or just games in general. I guess, I don't know if you can call it a board game if technically there's no board, but I know that growing up, we used to play board games all the time. Board games, card games, all kinds of games, you name it. On the weekends, it was a great time that we spent as a family. And it was just a lot of fun. And so I guess my impression is that maybe families don't play games quite as much as they used to. And I don't know, maybe that's wrong. Prove me wrong. If you play games all the time with your family, please let me know in the comments and tell me what some of your favorite games are. But I did just want to highlight, I love playing board games in the clinic with my kids. There are just so many benefits that kids can learn, or skills that kids can learn, and benefits to playing games. So first and foremost, obviously we're working on some social interaction skills and just basic turn taking. So kids need to learn how to take turns. They need to learn how to be patient and wait for their turn in certain situations. So games is a great way to do that. It's also a great way to work on attention and focus. So it takes a lot of attention and concentration for a kid to play a game all the way through and all the way to the end. So games is a great way to work on those attention skills, those focus skills. We also can work on a lot of logic and reasoning with some games that require some more strategy. Kids, as they get older, they can learn some of those cognitive skills of strategy through board games. Kids can also work on their working memory through board games. So just keeping track of what's going on in the game and keeping track of the rules, that can be developing their working memory skills. And even just learning the rules of a new game. So as you introduce a new game and they have to learn the rules and learn a lot of new information, and they have to keep track of that information in order to play the game successfully. And so that in itself is just a great skill that kids can be working on that will benefit them down the road in school and life and everything. So I think it's just, it's something that I just wanted to highlight, is that games are just a great way to work on all of these skills. And, you know, sometimes in occupational therapy, I have kids that come and really their goals are related to that attention and that focus and concentration and taking turns. And so just playing a game for them can be therapeutic. So just playing a game is working on those skills that they need to work on. Well, sometimes I have kids that that have other goals. So upper body strength or handwriting or scissor skills or communication skills. And so we can use board games for those kids as a tool, as a therapy tool, and we might just need to modify the game a little bit and play it in a slightly different way to incorporate activity that might work on their goals while still playing a fun activity and doing something that they enjoy and that they love. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of those ideas too. So Thomas is kind of playing a game I just want to show you. So he right now, they're kind of playing a little game of Monopoly Junior, and Thomas is laying on his stomach. And so just laying in this position can work on some good shoulder stability and upper body strength. And so if you need a quick idea just to kind of switch a game up a little bit, instead of sitting at a table, take the game to the floor and play on the floor, and encourage your kids to lay down on their stomach and then prop themselves up on their elbows. And just by having to lean back and forth to move the pieces or do whatever you need to do in that game, you're working on some strength and some shoulder stability and some upper body coordination, and you're still having fun and playing a fun game, and you're also getting the kid out of the chair and away from the table, which might not be their favorite place right now. So that's just a simple way to switch up a game. If you watched my video yesterday, you heard me talk about using clips to move game pieces around the board. That can be a great way to work on finger strengthening. So we can do that with any board game where you have a game piece or a pawn that you have to move around the board. So just use a clothespin or a clip or something and just move it around the board that way to incorporate some finger strength. Another thing you can do is just to incorporate some handwriting into games. You can just think of ways to modify. So the game Scattergories, for example, comes to mind, because that game in and of itself, you have to write a list of words that start with the same letter. So that game has handwriting built right in, right? So you can think of other games, maybe like a memory game or a matching game. So you can modify the rules a little bit and just have a kid maybe write the word of the object that they made a match of, or the picture that they made a match. And you can incorporate handwriting that way. If you're playing, I have Monopoly Junior out here, so that's what the boys are playing. If you're playing Monopoly Junior, you can kind of insert your own rules for chance cards, and in order to get the prize on the card, they have to write their name 3 times, or write their address, or write a sentence, or whatever it is. You can just modify modify those rules a little bit, and that can be just a fun way to incorporate some handwriting practice into your otherwise just fun regular playtime, right? So I just want to show you a couple of games I have out here. This is one of my all-time favorite games, and I apologize for my camera work. It leaves a lot to be desired, but this is Sneaky Snacky Squirrel, and this game has this little squirrel clip that you pick up acorns with, and this is just a great game. Again, this has hand strengthening built right in, right? So we don't even have to think about it. There's also this this is the spinner, and there's lots of different things that happen depending on what you spin on the spinner. So it's a great game for just keeping track of different rules and different caveats to different things in the game. Like I said, the boys are playing Monopoly Junior. Monopoly Junior is a great game for working memory and keeping track of things. You have to remember to ask people for your money when they land on your space. You have to keep track of your money, all that kind of stuff. So that's a great game as well. I also have, let's see, we have Trouble out here. So this can be a good one for that finger coordination, just pinching those pieces to move around the board. Also, hand strength is incorporated in this one just by virtue of popping the popper. And then I have Zingo out here. So I don't know if you've ever seen Zingo. It's like a bingo game, but there's a little speed aspect to it. So you match these cards to your board. And Zingo is one that I know a lot of the speech therapists I work with would say that it's great for developing language skills, because you have to match words to pictures and start labeling things. And so that's a great one for some communication skills as well. So lots of different games out there. I'd love to know what your favorite game is. And as we head into the weekend, maybe just take some time and find some time to play a good game with your family. Show me pictures, show me videos, send me what games you love, and I'd love to just hear what you're playing. So I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.